Okay, y'all. Now, speaking of abusers, let's get into Tyler Perry, who at this point, this is about the second person that came from the Oval that's accusing some SA mess going on behind the scenes at the Tyler Perry studio. And now I'm thinking at this point, we need to start calling the Oval the Oral, because I don't know what the hell y'all doing over there in regards of these little light brights that y'all over here allegedly abusing. So, because I have a picture of Mark E. Swinton. That's the guy. Well, but let me get first things first, pull up this one. So I don't know much about the Oval because, I don't watch Tired Perry's tired shows. But apparently, according to Braxton Wells, who is on the show, that's the guy on the left, they said Mark Swinton, who is a film producer and the vice president of Tyler Perry Studios, has been accused by actor Braxton Wells of SA, according to Lipstick Alley. Now, according to the outlet, Braxton Wells, who appeared in the Tyler Perry Studios produced series The Oral, because that's what we're going to call it from now on, posted on IG that Mark Swinton allegedly R-worded him and claimed that Tyler Perry later covered up the entire incident. A part of from a series of videos he posted, Wells also posted the following on Instagram. He said, Mark E. Swinton, you groomed and R-worded me while I was under your influence, flying me from LA to Georgia under false pretenses. You abused your position as VP of Tyler Perry Studios, a company that claims to stand for faith. Child, you already know, whenever they throw God and Jesus and Sky Daddies and all that other mess and some stuff, regardless of the abuser, the minute they throw, certain buzzwords, it's kind of like, I swear to Christ, I feel like a lot of you church-going folks are sleeper agents. The minute stuff goes on where there's a lot of sociopathic behavior, abuse, or whatever the case is, the minute they say God, Jesus, hallelujah, praise Lord, praise God, praise the Lord, all that mess, they say that y'all fall in line, y'all immediately just, y'all brains get wiped out, kind of like the little flash thing that JNK used in Men in Black, and y'all just immediately forget about all the things that you've been accustomed to. So I'm sure there's going to be people out here that don't believe anything of what this guy said. But then we had the other guy. What's his name? Sometimes I be wanting to call that man Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead. But it's, what is it? It's, was it, Derek Dixon, somebody with a D, double D, the white dude that basically accused Tyler Perry. And now people out here running around saying, oh no, that ain't his type. So you know what Tyler type is. Now, addressing Tyler Perry, he stated, Tyler Perry, you built your empire on the image of a God-fearing man, yet when darkness crept in through your own executive, you chose silence. You retained a predator in your house, and helped cover it up, protecting your brand over a broken human life. Now, previously, it's Derek Dixon. Thank you. Because I was like, I knew it was with a D, double D. Another actor named Derek Dixon, who played the role of Dale in The Oval, had accused Tyler Perry of alleged harassment. According to The Hollywood Reporter, he filed a $260 million litigation against Perry just 2 weeks earlier. And let's not forget about Christian Keys, because remember, we talked about him when he came out and started throwing subliminals and threatened to reveal who was allegedly doing things to him that mimicked similar, to what Derek was out here saying that happened to him. And you see, like, he went quiet because a lot of people believe he was paid. So them accusations went away. Now, in the video released by Braxton Wells, the Clean Slate actor has also directly addressed Tyler Perry, saying that he protected a predator despite claiming to be a God-fearing man. Wells also added that he had previously contacted Dixon's lawyers for help on his case and even presented them with all the evidence he had, but they allegedly refused to help him. So now, let me pull up the other man so y'all have an idea of who this man is, Mark E. Swinton, that Braxton is accusing of doing some unspeakable things to him. Now, in a post shared on July 7th, actor Braxton Wells accused Mark Swinton of SA at a time when he was under the latter's influence. Wells stated that the incident took place in January 2022, adding that the reason he was sharing his story now was so that no one else should be further silenced. Wells also added that the incident occurred after he flew to Atlanta, Georgia, on the request of Swinton. In his statement, he added that he and Swinton went to the Marcel's Steakhouse After which they both went to Swinton's home where the alleged incident took place after he was given a drink that Mark Swinton had made for him. Y'all all seem to like follow the same MO. Y'all like roofing people in order to get what y'all want out of them, allegedly. Now Mark Swinton is a producer of popular shows like Bruh, Ruthless, Sisters, and the cult favorite, among others. According to his IMDb profile, Swinton, who is a recipient of the 2002 NAACP Theater Award as Best Director, has long been associated with Tyler Perry Studios. In March of 2022, he was promoted to Senior VP of Scripted Programming. According to the IMDb, he currently serves as the VP of Tyler Perry Studios. Wait, assistant, you said vice president, scripted programming. If Tyler Perry writing every damn thing, what is he? Why is he the senior VP of scripted programming? Is he writing stuff? I think Braxton does write some things on the show, if I'm not mistaken. So now in his post, Braxton further addressed Tyler Perry and termed his action as fraud and not faith. Wells further stated, Yahweh Elohim sees all. He is not mocked. You hid behind Hollywood politics, lawyers, and NDAs. You thought your money could bury truth, but no contracts signed under duress, no manipulation by a corrupt attorney, and no celebrity circle will stop Yahweh's judgment. Hoochie, here y'all go with that stuff. But now they say in a series of Instagram videos, Braxton Wells, who is also an Army veteran, okay, what that got to do with anything, further detailed his interaction with Mark Swinton and added that he had previously contacted attorney Jeannie Harrison on advice on his manager. Now, Harrison, who previously worked in the Harvey Weinstein case, did take up his case, but allegedly did not help him in the way he had hoped. She reportedly stated that Swinton would no longer be prosecuted as the incident took place in Georgia, where the statute of limitations is 2 years. Wells further claimed that after the incident, he was allegedly paid $6,000 in order to ensure he would be silent about the entire situation. Only $6,000? Damn, you a cheap date. So I'm sitting there like, well, there's a lot of videos and it said part 5. Maybe I could play a little bit of the clip. But I'm sitting there like, one of the reasons why I was hesitant and even wanting to play the clip or whatever is because I was like, I don't want to be sitting here for 20 minutes. I didn't want it to be a long-winded situation. Like, remember when Christian Keys put out his video? I'm like, bro, if you don't get to the goddamn point, I'm about to turn this off. That's why sometimes I be wanting to read it just to give y'all the whole thing, because when y'all get a little too long-winded in the situation, it's like, can you get to the point? But anyway, let's play the clip and then we'll come back and talk.
This ain't my type of thing, but I think I know a woman that can really do this for you. So he introduced me to this lady named Jeannie Harrison. Jeannie Harrison, I guess she was she repped for the Harvey Weinstein victims. And I don't know what happened in the Harvey Weinstein, and I've seen that he went to jail, he's been indicted and stuff like that. But it sounds like it's good on paper, right? She's got everything that you need, right? So let's continue. She takes on my case. I tell her from the beginning of the story, I tell her, listen, I had a lot of attorneys tell me in Georgia, because I don't know my rights, because I live in Los Angeles. I'm a resident of Los Angeles, but I went over there and traveled in an employment place and came back, right? So, they're saying the statute of limitation is 2 years. And I told her this straight up. This was statute of limitation for 2 years. And I had several attorneys tell me that in Georgia. So I was like, well, they were telling me you're going to have to get a civil attorney in LA because you're a resident in LA. So I'm going here trying to figure out the situation. I'm telling her, she still takes on the case. But she says, hey, I'm about to go on vacation for a whole month, and I'll let you know when things are going good. I waited a month. Okay? I waited a month. No words. Nothing. I haven't heard from anyone. I haven't talked to anyone. I only talked to her paralegal. Paralegal's like, just keep sending us some of your doctor stuff and your medical documents. Now, as you know, guys, that's HIPAA Act. Giving out federal documents, what I'm going through in my medical procedures And knowingly, I didn't know they were trying to keep a felony crime hidden. That is a felony crime, and that's federal. But I'll continue. Um, I'm giving all my medical documents to an attorney that is representing me, right? And she doesn't mention any of this stuff to them. Now I know she's gonna tell me, "Oh, I've said these things, and blah blah blah." But why haven't you tell me my rights in Los Angeles? Why haven't you tell me I had unlimited jurisdiction in Los Angeles? Why you didn't tell me I had quid pro in Los Angeles? Why was this case not seen by a judge, jury, or so? But he said, "This ain't my type of thing." But I think I know a woman that can really do this.
Okay, so that was like part 5 or whatever that he posted. So then there was another one where basically he was talking about how um I was like, hold on, what am I doing? Because I was trying to figure out how I could bring up the other video. I don't know, for some reason it's not. Oh wait, I got it. Almost forgot how to work my situation. So I don't know if you could see it, what he wrote. So this apparently they said this is Mark E. Swinton's civil lawsuit, and this was around September 25th, 2024 at 4:20 a.m. This would look like he wrote this via his Apple Notes. So that's what is given. So yeah, he says summary of my testimony to the investigators on the details, what happened to me, and what I've told the detective and my attorney who failed me. So he says, so for the first time I met Mark E. Swinton, I booked a 60 episode on Ruthless playing the role Belle with the help of Sydney Butler at I Submit Talent Agency in Atlanta, Georgia. I was on a Zoom call with him and Raven Drummer, letting me know how much they loved my sub tape, and I did my sub tape at North Hollywood at Creation Studios. They booked me a first class ticket from Los Angeles to Atlanta, Georgia. I had a driver waiting on me at the Atlanta airport to take me to the Intercontinental Hotel on November 6, 2019. So when it was time for me to come on set November 7, 2019, they took pictures of me in wardrobe and wig, not a wig, chair. And then when I was about to work, Mark Swinton calls me in his office, let me know that they were sending me back home and letting me know I had I had a 17-year-old face, but I had a man's body. And I took it in as a professional manner. And when I did, Mark said that he was impressed with how I handled it well and said he will promise me a role in the future. Then 2 years later, we stayed in contact and he booked me for the role cult member on the Oval on October 19, 2021. And says TPS flew me out from LAX to Atlanta November. Oh, TPS Tyler Perry Studios. It took me a second to realize what that was. Flew me out from LAX to Atlanta November 1st, 2021, 12:20 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Delta Airlines and landed in Atlanta at 7:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I had to Uber myself to Intercontinental, and Mark got my COVID test so he could hang out with me. And I didn't think anything of it because this guy was very powerful at Tyler Perry Studios. I was like honored he would want to hang out with me, and I was like someone that was coming up in the business. And he continues to text me and ask me where I'm at. And I was hanging out with this girl named Taylor, who I was having sexual relations with. And he would always ask me about her and asking me where I was at and what I'm doing. And I keep telling him that I was with Taylor at Source Buckhead. Then he would say he may stop by and buy me a drink. And he did, bought me a drink, and he got himself a drink and my girlfriend Taylor. And then me and him walked outside and he was telling me about what Tyler Perry does at his Bahamas Island, child. And they said his Bahamas Island with his male actors and female actors, and they all have sex with each other. And kept repeating that to me when he flew me back out to Atlanta on January 6th of 2022. Then, November 4th, 2021, 10:54 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, he would ask me how did my performance go on set, and I said, Tyler said I did an incredible job, and he texted me at November 4th, 2021, 11:29 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, saying, you have plans tonight? We can hang at my crib tonight, and you can keep your original flight back. And I thought it was crazy he would want me to hang out at his crib. I'm just an actor. I thought he was I was building a great relationship with someone that would change my career. And then January 5th, 2022 at 10:47 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Mark texted me wanting to see me again and asked my name and date of birth and booked me a flight back to Atlanta on January 6th at 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Delta Airlines. Was asking me what kind of liquor I like and said Don Julio 19. Okay, you got that good stuff. Don Julio 1942 and picking at steakhouse he think I would like. And then text him Atlanta at 7:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me know he's at S3 Terminal and let me know he is parked at the cell phone lot and drive around to pick me up at arrivals. And I saw him in his Mercedes G-Wagon and he told me we were headed to Marcel's Steakhouse. While we were driving, Tyler Perry calls him and telling me to be quiet. And he has him on speaker, basically saying things about other actors or calling them annoying and bad mouthing other crew members. Then we get to, I knew that Tyler Perry and this whole God Sky Daddy thing was, him being Pastor Perry. I knew it was an act. But y'all be thinking I'm crazy when I talk about people. I usually have a good judgment of character when I look at somebody and watch how they move. But let's get back to what he had to say. And so, he said, and badmouth each other crew members. Then we get to Marcel's Steakhouse on Buckhead and told me I can get anything I want. And he orders me Don Julio 1942. While I'm drinking my first drink, he orders me more drinks. And I ordered 3 drinks straight on the rocks. And I was already drunk at this point. And then I'm talking about my career, but he didn't seem interested at that. Yeah, he was trying to get that pussy. He kept telling me how handsome I am. And then when we leave the restaurant, he takes me back to his crib and show me his $250,000 painting he has in his house and his big aquarium. And I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm in his house. Because he was trying to get that pussy. How many times I gotta tell you? And he said, and he asked me he had Don Julio 1942 bottle for me at his bar near his movie theater. Well, I've always wanted a house with a movie theater in it. That's my dream. But anyway, let's get back to this. And he made my drink for me, and I was drinking with him. And then I started feeling weird at this point already when I had another drink because we went in his movie theater and we were watching a movie. And I don't remember half the things he was talking about. All I remember is he took me upstairs up to his room, and he had another room and watching another movie and gave me another drink and felt an extra unbalanced. And I was not coherent and I couldn't fight anyone. I felt tranquilized, and I know he put something in my drink. And he started trying to kiss my neck and kiss me. And I told him to stop. And he told me, no, it's okay. And I got you. Don't worry. Come in my room. I couldn't move at all. I felt like my whole body was paralyzed. And then he started taking my clothes off and turns me around and I couldn't move and started putting Vaseline in my anus area and started dropping his penis in my anus and I couldn't move. Child, now what if you got shitty kitty on your end? You know these straight boys don't clean properly back there, but I guess you self-hating homosexuals don't be caring about clean pussy. I guess y'all like the smell of shit. But anyway, let's get back to the topic. And he said, oh, Mr. Hanky. Maybe I should have been a little more clean with the term. And he said I couldn't move and I couldn't get him off me and started hurting. And then I blacked out and I don't remember what else he did to me after that. And I woke up the next morning and he told me he sent me $6,000 on Apple Pay to keep quiet about it. Child, 6,000. What am I? That I need a little more coin than that if you're gonna violate my budenda. Or as old boy Alex Noah's Ark, my vagina. Now, it said, and I was lost for words and I was extremely mad and embarrassed. I told him I need to take a shower and I noticed I was wiping myself in the shower. I had Vaseline on me and blood mixed together on the washcloth. And I was breaking down crying in the shower and I didn't know what to do. I came to the realization that I was R-worded by Mark E. Swinton and I was afraid to speak up about the situation for 2 years because I thought I was going to be blackballed from Hollywood. That, not only that, but I think it was also like, as a man, you've been violated. So when you're thinking about all of that, it's like, you can't, like, who goes around admitting that they've been sexually assaulted by another man? But then again, he got you liquored up. So it was premeditated. And then when you got to that final drink is when he slipped the Mickey. Because of course he had to do that when he got you back to the house. He ain't gonna be trying to lug somebody around at a steakhouse, slipping Mickeys and stuff in your drinks in front of, the public, because then they'll probably see what he did. So he got to get you back to the mansion where, He has control of you in the situation. So he said, I left this crib and got me a hotel in Buckhead, and going through this dramatic experience, it made my PTSD worse and my mental health was worse since I'm a retired veteran in the Army and I've been S word all this time. I couldn't live life the way I wanted to. I was basically homeless and I was house hopping. I kept in contact with Mark and stayed on his good side because I was scared. Mark could ruin my acting career and I just tried to make him happy, but I wanted to report him for so long. But I seen a psychiatrist at the VA to talk to someone, but I told him I was not happy and I couldn't live my life accordingly. And the VA kept changing my doctor every 6 months, and I never had the same one. But I didn't have the funds to afford for a civilian doctor. I was living off the VA. I thought I would lose my family speaking up about all of this, but they had my back all the way. But I can't live through this burden. It was eating me alive, and I wanted justice for our mental health that Mark E. Swinton has caused me. And I want all the victims to speak up for all the things he has done to, I guess, meant done to them. And that's Tyler Perry's right hand man. And I want, and he said, oh yeah, here's the last part because it was like it cut off. That's Tyler Perry's right hand man. And I want justice for the emotional distress and mental illness and S word thoughts he has caused me. My life has not been the same ever since this incident happened. I wanted to unalive and just let myself be with the good Lord. So, unfortunately, yeah, we got another story about another damn assault that's going on with this man who did this to this man over on the left. And Tyler Perry covering this up. Didn't I tell you a lot of times they sit up here and throw God and Jesus and all these little Sky Daddy and all this other mess up in there. That damn Bible been written and rewritten so many damn times. You don't even know what is and what isn't the truth up in that book of Grimm's fairy tales. But for the most part, the sad part about all this is that a lot of these people go in really truly believing that Tyler Perry is this person that really has pushed things forward for Black people and given Black people opportunities. And one of the things that always pissed me off about that is that some people out here, we got to protect Tyler Perry at all costs because he's done so much for the Black community. And to me, that is sociopathic behavior. That someone who is known in a position of power and helping Black people and giving to charities and doing all these things, but beneath it all, you got sinister tendencies. I don't want to be behind somebody that's doing that. That you out here violating men because you too damn pussy to live your life as an out and proud homosexual because you got all that biblical church religion that's coming up in your brain that makes you hate who you are because y'all caught up in what the Bible tells you. So y'all out here hating and then spreading your self-hate and projecting it on other people because you want what you can't have, because you can't truly be yourself. So you out here taking advantage of men who not even into that sort of thing and using your power to come at them. From this young man right here, Braxton Wells, to Christian Keys, and I think the other guy that was Derek Dixon, I think he is part of the biblical community. So but that's still, regardless of if he is a homosexual or a non-homosexual, you don't have a right to put your hands on somebody that's not that interested in you, sexually. And now you got allegedly Tyler Perry out here hunching his actors and having a whole harem situation going on in his little private Epstein Island. So him, Diddy, R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, allegedly all of y'all birds of a feather. And so I will definitely keep abreast of this story as it develops. But so far as the time of the writing, when I use the article, shout out to Soap Central, because that's where I saw the article at. Neither Mark Swinton nor Tyler Perry have made a statement addressing this issue. But I'm sure there's a lot of political pundits. I mean, not political pundits. I'm sure there's a lot of other people out here that's been talking about it. I don't necessarily know if other bloggers have been talking about it or whatever. But yeah, this is definitely a story that I will be keeping abreast of as it develops. But I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Shout out to Braxton. This is just disgusting. This is deplorable. I'm sorry that this is something you had to endure, but and we need to believe victims. And I know that people don't respect women in regards to, but I don't think y'all respect when it happens to men either, because everybody always got to, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? When you are incapacitated, when you've been drugged, when you've had a lot of drinks up in you, you don't realize that alcohol and stuff, you go against your better judgment. Who has the ability to be out here like really being of sound mind when they're under the influence of drugs? God knows what they put in that drink. So, and if there's I wouldn't be surprised if there's more people out there who are victims, but I don't think a lot of them will come forward because, with Tyler Perry being the powerful man that he is, he's giving a lot of these men and some of these women opportunities. So only time will tell if a lot of them will come out of the closet, which quiet as it's kept, both of these two need to, and spill the tea that needs to be spilled. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below.